First of all, I would like to thank World Bank and Mowaji, and of course, Jayan for being here. You have been there for the support to develop the biogas sector in Nepal, and all the distinguished guests, and especially in the local private sector from Nepal, who have been very keen and taken their part of this, their share of the work towards developing the larger biogas productive applications in Nepal. So, since I belong to the part of the government which promotes renewable energy in Nepal, I'll talk a bit about AEPC and what it is doing and what are the different policies that it has towards promoting renewable energy in Nepal. But my focus would be towards how business to business relationship and business to business market development can be done in Nepal. So as you know, maybe this is not new to most of you, or maybe new to some of you. So we are a Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal with about 26.6 million people, with an area of about 150,000 square kilometers. Climate is very diverse, from subtropical to alpine. And likewise, the culture is very diverse from east to west and from south to us to north. And elevation is also very different, as you know, right from the very plain, as we call it, Tarai, which is the bread and butter of Nepal, towards north, with the highest peak in Nepal at about 8,848 meters, which we popularly know as Mount Everest. I have a bit of this information on the National Rural and Renewable Energy Program, which we call NRREP, which we started recently, last fiscal year, starting from July 2012, for 5 years, with a budget of about 184 million, to kind of give a framework for rural and renewable energy in Nepal, more towards going towards a swap approach, so that all the support from the government in Nepal, as well as from different development partners, be it bilateral or multilateral, would go through a single streamlined approach, so that there won't be duplication and there won't be undue use of resources, and we can use the scarce resources most economically. So we are being supported by various development partners, as you can see it in the slide. And World Bank is one of them, which is supporting not only for this large biogas applications, but towards promoting solar and mini-grid, the large applications of solar and mini-grid as well. So as I said earlier, it is under the government. It has a board. Board is chaired by the Minister of Science, Technology, and Environment, but at present it is chaired by the Prime Minister himself. And we are the implementing agency. It was established in 1996, which is about, I guess, 15 years now. So we have 15 years of experience through institutional support from the government. And one thing that I would like to mention over here is that everything that we do within the AEPC, through government support and through support from different partners, is being watched and monitored by a compliance unit. In that case, we follow the compliance and transparency and accountability issues very seriously, and it is the compliance unit is answerable not to the executive director of AEPC, but to the program steering committee, which contains the donors, the Ministry of Finance, and other ministries. So we take this transparency and accountability issue very seriously. This is the scope of AEPC. It promotes different technologies, and basically in 3 different areas, as we know: solar, mini micro hydro, and the biomass. And biogas is a part of biomass. And within biogas, as was mentioned earlier, we have done quite a few work over the past 2 decades. Especially, I would like to mention over here support from organizations like SNB, the Dutch organization, and also through GIZ and KfW, especially in the domestic sector, domestic front. As of now, to be exact, we have promoted about 300,000 small-scale biogas plants. But towards the larger productive applications of biogas, I feel, is lagged a little bit behind compared to other neighboring countries and what have happened around the world. So I think that's somewhere we have to catch up, and I understand this SREP program, which is part of the larger national program, would be a key, milestone towards doing that in Nepal, like what we have seen being done in India through the documentary that Jains had prepared. And to promote these different technologies in different areas, what we have is, given the situation that Nepal has gone through, we also need to look at other cross-cutting issues like climate and carbon. As you can understand, this biogas project that we have promoted so far has been also, registered with the Clean Development Mechanism, and was the first projects from Nepal to be registered in Clean Development Mechanism, and we are getting some revenues from that mechanism and using that to promote further, biogas. And also, a key issue is the, JC, meaning gender and social inclusion, whereby we take it very seriously when we are promoting these technologies, that it's not only the, well-off, the upper half of the, pyramid, the people with well-off people are only going to enjoy these technologies, but we also look at it that the bottom of the pyramid also gets these different technologies. And also, another issue that has been very crucial has been not only the consumptive use of these different renewable energy technologies, not only for lighting or cooking, but also for different productive applications, generating enterprises, generating income, so that the load factors of these different technologies are increased, and it has an effect on the overall economy of the country. And as I said earlier, we have also a monitoring evaluation unit in addition to that compliance unit, whereas the compliance unit is more towards transparency and accountability in terms of the usage of the money. The monitoring and evaluation is towards whether the actual technologies are being installed, standard technologies are being installed. So these are the scope of AEPC in terms of promoting the technologies and how we promote the technologies, integrating the different cross-cutting issues. So this has been a trademark kind of a, slide for AEPC, whereby AEPC works as a middleman, in a public-private partnership. Middleman being, working with the demand side and as well as the supply side. So on the demand side, we work with different public sector institutions, primarily in terms of, awareness and outreach, promoting the technologies, letting people know, letting institutions know about these different RET technologies. What are the standards, what are the guidelines, how it is promoted, what is the subsidy, so that they become interested to use these different renewable energy technologies. So these are, if I may say, in the case of large biogas applications, it would be the Poultry Association, it would be the Cow Farms Association, it would be Hotels Association, it will be the Education Ministry, or the Defense Ministry. So those kind of institutions would fall into this category in the case of large biogas applications. So on the supply side, I guess it is the people that are here today, both the local, private sectors, and also from different private sectors from distinguished countries. I would say like India, and I guess we are from Fredrik from Denmark here, and the private sectors that would be, kind of providing these technologies to the demand side, and we are in the middle, preparing different guidelines, standards, and subsidy policies in terms of how these different technologies should be promoted. And at the bottom is the users and beneficiaries. So okay. In terms of why do we need a large, biogas application, productive applications? So as you know, somebody mentioned earlier also that there are some load shedding issues in India, but we have a far more, critical issue. We have, 12 to 18 hours of load shedding, depending upon the wet and the dry seasons. So most of these private sector, as I said, these poultry farms, these cow farms, and other commercial enterprises, they have to run on diesels during those load shedding hours. So it's normally, 3 to 4 times more expensive than the usual per unit cost that you pay to the national grid. It's about 40 Nepalese rupees per unit of energy, whereas the grid electricity is somewhere around 8 to 9 rupees. So the other thing is also because, as I said earlier, there's such a diverse climate and diverse, diverse geography, topography. So there are diverse socioeconomic backgrounds and people and these different enterprises in these different diverse backgrounds. Maybe there is this big hospital in one of the mountainous headquarters, and there are also these poultry farms in the Tarai. So the temperature difference is between maybe -1 to, I don't know, 45 degrees. So how to tackle those issues with these technologies. So one of the issues. So that's, I guess, the need for the productive applications of large biogas. And as I mentioned earlier, the target for this 5 years program, the national program, is domestic, which we have been doing. We have a very vibrant private sector. We have a target of about 130,000 domestic biogas plants, in addition to the 3 lakhs that I mentioned earlier. And then the institutional and community biogas plants, about 600 of them, and the commercial, about 400 of them, and waste-to-energy, especially in the municipal scale, of about 40 municipal scale biogas projects. And these commercial and the municipal scale projects are being supported by the SREP. We have brought that within the SREP framework. And that would be supporting the larger national approach, national target of the government. So as I said, we walk in the middle, trying to bridge the gap between the demand side and the supply side. So these are the works that we have done so far, being a middleman. So we have developed the different feasibility study guidelines that needs, based on which the private sector would assess the feasibility of these different projects that we are going to promote. And they are strongly linked with the environmental and social issues, and environmental and social issue screenings needs to be done during these feasibility studies so that the different social and the environmental issues are addressed properly. We have developed a biogas calculation tool. Initially, this can be used by the different pre-qualified private sectors that we have at the moment, and this is not. This is just for the starting of the sector, and the companies are free to. The companies and the beneficiaries are free to use their own tools, their own calculation methods, and approach us with the different projects. We have done so far 3 rounds of trainings for these different pre-qualified consultants on the feasibility study and the detailed feasibility study of the projects. I'd like to mention here that we have so far 20 companies which are pre-qualified to do these larger product applications biogas projects. And also we have around 35 pre-qualified biogas construction companies to construct these expected large biogas projects. And we have also prepared out of these large biogas applications, if we are able to do those 1,200 of these different biogas projects in the next 3 years period, then what would be the result in terms of how much carbon reduced, how much gigawatt hour of electricity produced, or how much gigawatt hour of thermal gas produced. So we have at the moment this next work, I would say the infrastructure for going on for actual implementation has been prepared, and I think it's a very good event today that we can based on these go forward towards actually having those projects on the ground. So I don't think I'll need to go through the details of these. It's a process flow chart of how the projects are implemented. But I would like to mention that there are 3 different things. One is the application part, whereby these developers and the pre-qualified consulting firms approach AEPC to do a project. And based on our assessment, there is a technical review committee in AEPC. And based on the assessment of that committee, it will go further for a feasibility study. And after the feasibility study, then it will go for a detailed feasibility study. And after feasibility study, once we assess that the projects can be implemented, then we provide a letter of commitment from AEPC side. AEPC side, particularly in terms of earmarking the amount of subsidy that we are providing to these different projects, so that it will also be easier for the developer to provide his equity, and also he may be able to go to the banks to kind of get his the needed share of the credit. So then the project starts. Before the project starts, with the letter of commitment, we also provide 50% of the subsidy, so that the developer is able to start the project with a little bit of advance money. And then after the project is finished, we do a testing and commissioning. We have already prepared a testing and commissioning guideline also, how we want to do it, for how many hours the generators need to run, how many hours the gas needs to be produced, those kind of things. And after the testing and commissioning is successful, then we provide, the remaining 40% of the subsidy. So that makes the 90% of subsidy once the project is completed and commissioned. And there is a 1-year project guarantee period whereby the terms and conditions needs to be agreed between the developer and the constructor, contractor. And once that 1-year project guarantee is finished, then we provide the remaining 10% of the subsidy. So that completes the project cycle.